we come to Tala's team now. We've come to CSK. We've come to the perennial champions. We've come to, probably the most supported franchise in the country because they have the most loved player in the country. And, with his international retirement now, they'll have the most emotionally, how do I say, the player who evokes most emotions amongst the countrymen right now. So we've, of course, talking about MSD's team. We're talking about CSK, talking about a team who probably rubber stamps, his passports with those extra days of playoffs whenever they go apply for visas if they're going abroad, or if they're calling in players from abroad. Because if you actually go and check out the history, they're the team which has made the most playoffs. And had they not had that hiatus for 2 years, who knows? They might have been the team with the most trophies as well, or at least as many as Mumbai. Because so I'll start with Pratmesh here, because I'm pretty sure he considers Chennai as rivals, even if he doesn't consider Bangalore as rivals. Because Chennai have the record to speak, and you defeated them in the final last year. Though I must say that it was a pretty weak Chennai team that you defeated, but still, it was a victory, and it was a proper victory for Mumbai in that final. When we look at Chennai, there are two things that I'd like to mention to you, and I'll leave the stage for you. One is, if you were to map out average ages, you'd probably have Chennai was not even be on the scale in the IPL. They'll
Yeah.
probably drop off the scale. You'll have to build like 3, 4 levels below that scale, and then you'll probably find Chennai there. And they have even Dhoni in his documentary on Netflix said, we are call ourselves the Dad's Army. And I think it's essentially getting into the granddad's army now. It's getting into those zones now with Dhoni fast approaching he's in his 40th year. He's 39 years old. You have Shane Watson, who I guess is the same age. Then you have Imran Tahir, who's crossed 40. And then you have some other players who've done well. Kedar Jadhav in middle 30s, Dwayne Bravo towards the wrong end of 30s, and Piyush Chawla, again, someone who's in his 30s, Murli Vijay, wrong end of 30s, Faf du Plessis, wrong end of 30s. So, and of course, you have Suresh Raina, who might hopefully come back to the UAE to play for CSK. So, how do you look at it? How do you look at it, Pratmesh? I mean, do you think this age factor would? I forgot to mention Ambati Raidu. Yes, there is Ambati Raidu as well. Do you think this age factor would play negatively because seeing the conditions that might be there in the UAE, their fielding is going to be a problem. Their fielding, if they are put in first and if it's a day match, it's going to be a problem because you'll struggle to find 5, 6 extremely good fielders, boundary riders there in that team.
Yeah, I think a day match is definitely going to be like a nightmare for them if they field first. You talked about the Chennai Mumbai rivalry. Have lived on both sides of it in terms of I've lived in Mumbai for most of my life, but I've lived in Chennai for 4 years. I had this. I felt really comfortable even watching games at Chepauk. It was a fantastic stadium, really good people. Uh, I really like the team CSK because of one man MSD. So I do consider them as rivals, but I don't really look at them as someone I look at like fierce rivalry or something like that. I just love them. I love CSK. If not MI, I really want CSK to win. But I think as a team, you said the age is one thing that is really going to hamper them. But I'm one of those who believes that doesn't matter how old you are, if you're good enough, you're good enough. You look at the CSK team, you look at especially they've built their team to suit their condition at Chepauk, and those conditions are exactly what we're going to get at UAE. You're going to see those cracked pitches, turning pitches, pitches with uneven bounce. The ball is going to turn handfuls. So you're going to see a lot of that in the UAE. And you look at the spinners that they've got. They have Piyush Chawla, obviously they bought in the auction. They have Imran Tahir. They have got Ravindra Jadeja. They have got Mitch Santner. So they have absolutely top class four spinners who can really turn it on when the time comes. They have Deepak Chahar, who is good with the new ball as well as the old ball, goes the cutters really well. You cannot forget Dwayne Bravo. So I think there as well, it's going to be again someone who bowls really good cutters. If Suresh Raina does hopefully make it into the IPL, it's him who can bowl spin as well. So they have the bowling that suits that condition. They have the players with the right mentality as well in the bowling unit. And talking about their batting, they have the likes of Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis. Obviously, if Raina comes back, hopefully if he does, Ambati Raidu. One guy really looking forward to David Malan. He's in top form, and he can really take the game away from any opposition right now. He's playing really well. Sam Billings has done well as well. So I think that he is someone that they will look forward to. And I mean, they've got all the right ingredients already on the plate. And then you add the aura, the charisma, the man himself, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, into that mix. And you think these people might be the dads or the granddads or whatever you call them. When you put those names on the team sheet, you're most likely going to win the match. So, and especially when the condition suits them, and that is the case in UAE. With fielding, yes, there is a big question mark, and CSK have had that question mark over the years. But they still have decent fielders. They have one of India's best fielders in Ravindra Jadeja in the team. But I think even the likes of Bravo, Raina, Rayudu, you have Faf du Plessis is a decent fielder as well. I think they have a team who can put their body on the line when required, but they might not even require that. That's how good they are when it comes to bowling and batting individually. Fielding might not be their biggest worry. They have always been dependent on bowling and batting in the last couple of years, at least ever since they've come back. So I think they are going to be there in their amounts. So I think they are a strong team and definitely want to look forward to under MS Dhoni's emotional farewell. I don't know if it's IPL farewell is this IPL farewell, but definitely is India farewell. So a lot of people already have that emotions. So the most emotionally supported team right now would be CSK. So and I'm pretty sure all the players who are in that team want to win it for MSD. So they are really someone to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. MS Dhoni is definitely riding the crest of the wave of emotions here. As far as Indians are concerned, as all of us fans, we're extremely grateful to MS, for the wonderful, wonderful 15, 16 years he's given to the sport. And, especially international cricket, I don't think there is a single Indian fan who would not be grateful to him. Moving beyond their bowling, I think maybe a couple of players I would like to also mention there in their bowling attack: Sam Curran and Shardul Thakur. Shardul Thakur is someone I think Dhoni places a lot of faith in. His knuckleballs, his cutters, his surprise. He's able to clock up to 135 kmph. So he is he's a handful there as well. But coming to their batting lineup, Anurag, I feel it's extremely dependent on the fact that whether Suresh Raina comes back or not. Because I feel if he doesn't come back, first of all, they'll be losing, if not their best batsman, at least one of the top two batsmen, and definitely their most consistent batsman in the last 12 years. They'll be losing that guy. And of course, they'll be losing probably one of the best Indian players as well. So, that probably puts more pressure on trying to get another Indian player to replace him, because, you can only have the four foreigners. If you look at the batting lineup, they've got the likes of Murali Vijay, Ambati Raidu, Raina, of course, that's conditional. Duplessis, again, Ruturaj Gaikwad, we don't know. Unfortunately, he had contracted the virus, coronavirus, and as far as the reports are concerned, he's still not recovered completely from the virus, and he's still not completely tested positive. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be missing the first couple of matches in the tournament, at least, if not more. You've got Shane Watson, who's probably going to open, and Dwayne Bravo, who can hit a few. Of course, you've got Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I fully expect to see him coming down at number 4 and number 5. He might even promote himself up the order, because he plays spin very well as well himself. So so that's another thing. So do you think their batting is well versed? Because there is one thing that I'm struggling to see. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to see players who can chase down 200 for me. And I know you will probably have those one or two matches only in this IPL, or maybe 180 for that matter on those pitches. Struggling to see players who can come out there and just go bang, 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 bang. I'll give you a 40 or 20, and just settle those nerves, calm this game down. I'm not saying that Murli Vijay on his day cannot do that, or Raidu on his day cannot do that, but I'm still struggling to see players. I'm highly skeptical of how Shane Watson's going to play, considering he did not play the BBL. He did not. Sorry, he played the Big Bash. He did not play the PSL, and this was supposed to be his last season. So I do not know how fit he's going to be or how batting ready he's going to be. So what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I think you're pretty much spot on there. That is one weak link right now. I think, as you just mentioned, if you look at the batting lineup, there is not one individual there. There are great names. There
Yes.
are names that have done well in the past. There are names that have passed their prime, most importantly. And when you, with due respect, I think, with due respect to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, if he's the most explosive person in the batting lineup for you,
Yeah.
if he's the most, he's the person you're going to really bank on, I think the team is really not in good shape because even MS Dhoni is, I wouldn't say is past his prime, but he's sort of walking along those lines right now. So I think, yeah, I think that is really going to be one big struggle for them. If there is a target in excess of 150, 160, I think there's going to be a lot of struggle for them. But at the same time, they do have the spin department for them, or the bowling department in general, with the likes of Josh Hazelwood. They have the Sam Currans, and who are very smart bowlers who are very economical bowlers as well. They have wicket taking bowlers among the spinners. There's Sai Kishore. I'm really looking forward to watching this guy. He's had such a great domestic campaign. So I hope he ends up doing a great job this IPL. As you rightly mentioned, Ruturaj Gaikwad as well. Hopefully, we see the best of that guy as well. So yeah, I think if you remember the first ever season that Sunrisers Hyderabad played in 2013, that was a you every almost there was a run of 7-8 games where they didn't score in excess of 135, literally not even 135, 140, yet they won like 5 or 6 out of the 7 or 8 that they played. So I think the CSK is going to be that sort of a team this time, and obviously the conditions are going to suit the spinners. Having said that, I think we've also sort of overemphasized on the bowling conditions. It's not going to be that spinner friendly. It will be. I think it'll become so as the tournament progresses, as the pitches slowly get tired. I think that's when you'll see the spinners really becoming a lot more integral, a lot more important in the setup. But I think there'll be a few games at the start where there'll be a lot of runs going on, especially Sharjah. That's a small stadium. That's one thing that we have to remember. Uh, Watson, the likes of Watson, they have the firepower in them, but do they have it yet? That's a big question. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they find something from Murli Vijay this season because if you look at that batting lineup, there aren't many you can really bank upon. There are plenty of games that I think, as I said, as I just mentioned, Sunrisers comparison. I think we are going to see a lot of low-scoring games involving Chennai Super Kings. We've seen that actually in over the years, especially when games are played at Chepauk. The games are usually low-scoring, not
Yeah.
you don't see scores of 160 plus very often. There was this game last year. I don't remember against whom. Uh, the Chennai Super Kings were 108 or 109 after 17 overs. They ended up scoring 170 thanks to the great Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He smashed 60 runs in the last 3 overs, sort of stuff we expect him to do this season as well. So yeah, besides something of those sorts happening, I think it's the average score for this team is going to be around 135 to 145, which is not good enough from a batting perspective, but they do have the bowling resources to sort of acknowledge it. So yeah, it's going to be tough for them, but yeah, let's as a Chennai Super King, I won't say admirer, but a well-wisher, but I would like to see them do well. If this turns out to be Mahendra Singh Dhoni's final season, I want him to finish once again as he has his record, right? He's never really, as a captain, besides that one season with Rising Pune Super Giants, he's never really finished outside of the top four.
Yeah.
So I hope that he keeps hold of that record and maybe even add a title.
Yeah, I mean, that will be incredible. But also, I'd like to assure you guys, this is not his last season as
Yeah,
an
hope so.
IPL
That'll be
player.
great.
That's not happening. I think I see him playing at least a couple more seasons. He might, it might be around 2022 or 23 that he might, actually hang up his IPL boots for that matter. As far as Chennai Super Kings are concerned, I agree with you guys. I think, not overemphasizing on the bowling conditions. I still feel they have an attack that is suited to the Middle East, that is suited to the three venues that we have. I am still skeptical about their batting. I do not see that many people who can, who can step on the gas and actually score runs. I know that Murli Vijay can have his day, when he scores 170 balls or 60 balls and just carries through the entire innings. But how many days will he have? And it's the same. It's the same with Shane Watson for that matter. He'll probably have a couple of really class innings, but can you bank on him for all 14 matches? Ambati Raidu is an unknown quantity now. He wanted to retire, then he unretired. Now he's back, and he's a fantastic player who's sort of been wronged in the past. But again, last season he did not do anything to write home about in the IPL as such. He was okay. He was average. He wasn't something great. So I still think they have a suspect batting. I think they will need, as Anurag said, they will need their established icons of the past to actually come to the fore, and also desperately keep their fingers crossed that Suresh Raina can come back to the IPL bubble and can complete his quarantine as soon as possible and join the squad, because I think he is a formidable part of the team, and even if they end up getting him for 10, 11, 10 matches or so, that will be vital for in terms of qualification for them. So as the last question, guys, I think both of you already answered. I'll start with Pratnesh. Do you expect them to make the top four? I'm not. I'm asking you to choose brain over emotions here. I know emotionally everyone, all of us want them to finish top four, but logically speaking, do you expect them to finish top four?
Uh, I expect them to be in a battle with Punjab for the fourth spot, but would I back them over Punjab to finish fourth? I don't think so. But with MSD, things impossible things are also possible. So that is one thing that he carries that no other captain in this Indian Premier League carries. So, and as you said a lot about the batting front, you only need the kind of score that these guys are looking to defend, or these guys might be chasing because of the bowling. They might only need that one batsman to actually provide them that impetus, and the others just to play around him. So in those 14 games, if you have even 6 or 7 games when the one batter can actually step up and win you a game, so they might have a little bit in them that they would be able to still qualify, but it's tough. It's really tough. Fielding is a problem, batting is a problem. So uh, definitely tough, but fourth or fifth, I don't see them finishing below fifth.
Anurag?
Just a discretion for our viewers. We have recorded all. I think this is the last video that we are recording. Like Chennai Super Kings is the last that we're doing. So I've already mentioned four teams that I've really uh, sort of emphasized that these four teams will already go through. So if I mention it, it'll be really incredibly stupid on my part to mention five teams that will definitely go into the top four. But yeah, I think it all comes down to that Jharkhand Dynamite, which sort of can literally take the entire country away with one or two explosive innings. And we know what he's capable of. We know what he, and it's not just emotional. It's logical as well. We know what he's capable of. He's taken teams not as good as this to the final in the past.
Yeah.
You see his record. That is one thing that stands out in in MS Dhoni's leadership CV. That he's taken teams that are not good enough to heights that even some of the great teams couldn't reach. Now we were talking about Delhi Capitals having some great teams in the past, but they never really reached there. Trust me, if those Delhi if those teams had MS Dhoni at the top, I think they would have had 3 or 4 titles as well. That is what MS Dhoni brings to the table. It's all down to the great man. But I think yeah, as I think I'd go with what Prathamesh said. I think it's going to be a battle for that fourth spot or fifth spot. But I think I it really pains me to say they might not finish.
Yeah, I think I would struggle to disagree with you guys there. As Pratmesh himself said, if it were down to between the likes of Punjab or Chennai, and you really wouldn't fancy Chennai over Punjab. But then again, stranger things have happened, and stranger things have happened cannot probably be the title of his biography. MS Dhoni. I think he's the master of all strange things and all good things as well. So one would hope for his fans and for a lot of us emotional emotional people that he's able to guide his team through. Though one team's fans who would, as Anurag mentioned, this is the last preview that we're doing. One team's fans would really hate us for being so emotional about a squad that we find so many flaws in, whereas we weren't emotional about a squad that we saw a lot of flaws in as well. So yeah, if you're looking at it that, then I would like to say that
Trust me,
Chennai.
if this was Virat Kohli's last season, I really might have had tears. If I might have had tears while talking. So yeah,
But
Okay,
I still don't feel CSK a relegation fodder. So
okay. So as we're talking about people, I think Pratmesh is going with a hopeful CSK top four. Anurag is going with a sorry no top four. I would think, well, just Patala, I guess. I don't know. I mean, even I've staked my claim for four other teams, so it's pretty stupid. I'd say they will run those four teams close, but whether they'll get into the top four, it'll be entirely very difficult. A player that we probably haven't mentioned much, just as a final thought, I'll leave all our viewers with, is David Malan that they've gotten as a replacement. I feel that he coming in, and if he carries the form that he has shown in England, he will negate my point of I don't see a guy who can accelerate, because he will definitely be that fulcrum that can accelerate, can come at number three and just absolutely go from the start, start hitting from the button, go. And he's someone who's shown with England, who's shown in the last couple. He's really matured as a player. First saw him in the test matches and did not think he was up to it. Did not find his technique up to it. But I've been pleasantly surprised with the way he's revamped himself as a T20 player. So that could be a player who could be really important for CSK given the right conditions and if he carries his form through.